shot up in the club. That nigga shot the club up, nigga. And then, niggas trying to send him some Jordans and some weed and trying to play funny. Bow! We shot niggas, man. Yo, that nigga busts his guns. So I believe him.
I think you should just stay in your place, brother. You shouldn't even speak on that type of lifestyle because you're not living that type of life.
What started off as a simple tweet about turning away from the streets has now snowballed into something way more serious. The kind of situation that could end with a goofy rapper getting wet up. We're talking about Pooh Shiesty allegedly sending pressure Blueface's way. And when rappers with real street backgrounds and actual gang ties start going at each other publicly, things can turn deadly fast. These ain't dudes just talking tough in the booth. This is real life. And history has already shown us that when real street figures with squads full of crash dummies start clashing online, it almost never stays on the internet. So let's break down how this situation spiraled out of control and why insiders are quietly saying this beef could end ugly. To understand how we got here, you gotta rewind to where it all kicked off. With 21 Savage and his controversial Leave the Streets movement that sent shockwaves through the rap world, C21 was on his promo run for his latest album when he dropped those 3 words that sparked a chain reaction across the entire industry. But this wasn't just a rapper having a sudden moment of growth. This was calculated, and it was all business. The Atlanta rapper was trying to play mediator, pushing the city's biggest names to squash their beefs, especially with the whole Young Thug and Gunna situation that had Atlanta divided. And this is where you really see how fake the industry can be. The same labels, media platforms, and insiders that tried to blacklist Gunna by labeling him a snitch suddenly wanted back in. Why? Because bro was running his numbers up without them, pulling millions of streams on his own. Once they smelled money, the narrative changed real quick. 21 knew exactly what that tweet would do. He positioned himself as the voice of reason, the peacemaker, all while promoting his album and setting the stage for a potential Gunna collab that could bring both of them a bag. It was a smart business move wrapped in street wisdom, and it worked. Everybody was talking about 21 right when his album dropped. That's when Pooh Shiesty decided to follow the wave. The Memphis rapper, known for being the head of one of the most dangerous crews in his city, Cho Gang, reportedly over 70 deep, posted on his Instagram story, "The streets, too." And for someone like Pooh Shiesty to say that, it shocked a lot of people. This is a dude who built his entire image on real street ties in one of the most violent cities in America. Memphis stays near the top when it comes to murder rates. Pooh Shiesty wasn't just rapping about that life, he was living it, leading it, and profiting from it. His authenticity was his brand. So when he co-signed the whole "forget the streets" message, it sent confusion through his camp and left fans scratching their heads. But Blueface wasn't rocking with it at all. The California rapper saw the trend and called everybody out, accusing them of moving like followers and being fake with their image. He took to social media throwing shots, basically saying these rappers were hypocrites playing both sides.
I think you should just stay in your place, brother. You shouldn't even speak on that type of lifestyle because you're not living that type of life.
Blueface already knew what was really going on. Most of the dudes screaming "F the streets" were the same ones who built their entire careers off street credibility. He saw straight through the nonsense and wasn't scared to say it out loud. And honestly, Blueface had a point. How you gonna spend years rapping about street life, leading crews, moving weight, standing on business, then suddenly switch up and say "forget the streets" just because it's the cool thing to say right now? To a lot of people, it looked like rappers were blindly following whatever 21 Savage said without thinking about how crazy it made them look to their own people. At first, Pooh Shiesty didn't give Blueface any attention at all. No response. No clap back. Nothing. He kept posting like everything was normal. But if you were watching closely, the signs were there that something was cooking behind the scenes. Shiesty started posting himself playing Call of Duty with NLE Choppa. And anyone who knows the history knows NLE Choppa and Blueface got real smoke with each other. That beef goes way back, and it's deeper than rap. This ain't about music opinions or chart positions. There's real street politics involved, disrespect, territory, and long-standing tension. So when Pooh Shiesty publicly started showing love to NLE Choppa, gaming together and vibing online, Blueface instantly caught the message. That wasn't random. That was Pooh Shiesty picking a side, and it definitely wasn't Blueface. Those gaming clips weren't just innocent fun. They were calculated. In street culture, who you associate with says everything. And Pooh Shiesty was clearly aligning himself with Blueface opposition. That's how street politics move. You don't always need words. Sometimes your actions say it louder than any diss track ever could. After that, things went quiet for a few weeks. Both sides looked like they moved on, and fans started thinking maybe this was just another internet beef that would fade away. But then Pooh Shiesty flipped the entire situation with one Instagram story that reignited everything. Instead of saying "F the streets," he posted, "I am the streets." Just like that, he took back everything he said weeks earlier and doubled down on his street image. The post came with hard visuals and music that screamed gangster energy, making it clear he wasn't backing off who he claimed to be. And that move right there told everyone something was up. Either Pooh Shiesty was feeling real pressure from his own camp for sounding soft, or he was setting the stage for something much bigger. Because when you're the leader of a crew that deep and you start talking about leaving the streets, that creates serious tension internally. Members don't want to hear their boss talking clean while they're still living dirty, still out there risking their freedom and their lives for the organization. So posting, "I am the streets," was Pooh Shiesty's way of planting his flag back in the ground. That was him reasserting his position, letting everybody know he wasn't stepping away from nothing. It was damage control, not just for the internet, but for his image inside Cho Gang, and a clear signal to his enemies that he was still the same dangerous dude they always knew him as. But at the same time, to outsiders, it made him look conflicted. One minute it's "forget the streets," the next minute it's "I am the streets." That flip-flopping didn't scream confidence, it screamed pressure. And Blueface was watching all of it closely. He wasn't about to let that slide. The moment Blueface saw that story, he jumped straight on Twitter and fired off. "Nah dog, we already seen what you said. The streets traumatized, buddy." That tweet was disrespectful on multiple levels. Blueface wasn't just talking trash. He was calling Pooh Shiesty wishy-washy, saying he couldn't stand on his word. And that word traumatized? That cut especially deep. Calling a man traumatized in street culture is wild. It suggests fear, confusion, weakness. For somebody who claims to be the CEO of a major gang and built his entire reputation on being fearless, that's a direct shot at his leadership, his mindset, and his authenticity, all wrapped into one word. That tweet went viral instantly. Fans jumped in. Other rappers started chiming in. Some people said Blueface was right for exposing the hypocrisy, while others felt like he was poking the bear for no reason. But what most people missed was this. This wasn't rap beef anymore. This was street politics playing out in real time on social media. Blueface made it clear he had been paying attention the whole time. He remembered the original "Forget the Streets" post. He noticed the sudden switch to "I am the streets," and he publicly put that contradiction on blast. That level of exposure meant Pooh Shiesty couldn't just ignore it like the earlier disses. Now here's where things start getting dangerous. Pooh Shiesty hasn't responded publicly to Blueface's tweet, but anyone who understands how the streets work knows silence doesn't mean peace. Most of the time, it means the opposite. When real street dudes stop talking and start moving quietly, that's when situations escalate. Pooh Shiesty isn't one of these industry rappers playing gangster for clicks. This is a man who really runs Cho Gang in Memphis, one of the most violent cities in America, consistently ranking near the top in murder rates. We're talking about an organization more than 70 deep, known for handling disrespect in real ways. These aren't studio gangsters. These are real street soldiers with real reputations. And when you publicly label their leader traumatized in front of millions, that's the kind of disrespect that usually doesn't get handled with tweets. In the streets, reputation is everything. Question a man's mental strength and leadership in public, and letting that slide can make you look weak to your own people. What makes this situation even more explosive is that both sides have real connections. Blueface might be from California, but he's tied in with some serious names out west, and he's clearly not backing down. And when two dudes with real street backing start pushing each other like this, that's when things stop being entertainment and start becoming very real. From anybody. He's proven over and over that he's willing to stand on what he says and deal with whatever comes after. On the other side, Pooh Shiesty has a whole army in Memphis, and they don't play when it comes to their leader's name or their organization's respect. People in the industry who are familiar with both camps are saying there's already been quiet movement behind the scenes. Word floating around is that there could be money involved with Blueface's name attached to it. Nothing confirmed, and both sides are keeping things tight-lipped. But when gang leaders feel publicly disrespected, situations tend to move fast. And the scary part? This whole thing looks way too familiar. We've seen how social media beefs between rappers with real street ties end, and it's rarely pretty. The difference between typical rap drama and what's happening here is that both Pooh Shiesty and Blueface have real organizations behind them, not just fans and comment sections. These are people willing to move when their leader feels tested. What makes it even crazier is how all of this started. This wasn't supposed to be about beef at all. It began with 21 Savage trying to promote his album and push a message about leaving street life behind. Now fast forward, and that same movement has somehow put two real street figures on a collision course. The irony is heavy. A message meant to reduce violence may have accidentally sparked more of it. Pooh Shiesty going from F the streets to I am the streets says a lot. That kind of switch doesn't usually happen without pressure. When you're running a crew and you start talking about stepping away, it can be seen as weakness or even abandonment by the people still risking everything. Nobody wants to hear their leader talking clean while they're still living dangerous. So Shiesty had to double back, reassert himself, and keep his organization solid. But that move handed Blueface exactly what he needed. It gave him the opening to question Shiesty's consistency and authenticity. And now we're in a situation where neither side can really back down. Blueface can't walk back his words without looking soft to his people and his audience. And Pooh Shiesty can't ignore the disrespect without it affecting his authority inside Cho Gang. This is the exact formula we've seen before, the kind that leads to real tragedy in hip-hop. Once pride, reputation, and street politics get involved, logic usually takes a backseat. We've watched this story play out too many times already. Talented young men with everything to lose. And that's why so many people are worried about how this one ends. Everything to live for, throwing it all away over social media disrespect and street politics. As this situation keeps unfolding, fans and industry watchers are hoping it doesn't cross the line into real violence. But let's be real, when actual street figures with real gangs behind them start going at each other publicly, the odds of it staying online are slim to none. History already taught us that these situations almost never cool off on their own. And that's the saddest part of all this. Both of these dudes have real talent and real opportunity. Pooh Shiesty has been building momentum, dropping hits, and growing a loyal fan base. Blueface, love him or hate him, knows how to create viral moments and keep himself relevant in a cutthroat industry. But once pride, ego, and street reputation get mixed in, all that progress can disappear overnight. What we're watching right now is exactly why 21 Savage said F the streets in the first place. Because this lifestyle doesn't lead anywhere good. The streets don't love you back. They don't care about record deals, chart positions, or long-term potential. All they care about is respect and retaliation. And that cycle almost always ends the same way. At this point, all anyone can do is watch and hope both sides realize they've got way too much to lose to let this go any further. But if we're being honest, when real street politics get involved, logic usually takes a backseat. And knowing how these stories usually end, this could be heading somewhere dark. The streets are definitely talking. And if this situation goes where people are whispering it might, things could get deadly real fast.